Making a vagina part 2. So this is going to be of a little bit longer video because we're going to spend some more details about how the vaginoplasty is done. But I think we need to split that up to what's on the outside and what's on the inside. So let's start with what's on the outside. So the big labial lips come from the outer aspect of the scrotum. The small labial lips come from remnants of the penile skin. The clitoris comes from a small piece of the head of the penis that we tailor down to the appropriate size. The urethra is shortened, so we've subtracted some tissue there to come out right above the vaginal canal. And let's talk about the canal, because I really think that defines how vaginoplasties are done in a categorical sense. So when you hear the terms penile inversion vaginoplasty, peritoneal pull-through vaginoplasty, or a intestinal vaginoplasty, what those procedures really refer to at the end of the day is, where is the vaginal canal lined up? So let's start there and talk about it. So a penile inversion vaginoplasty is the kind that I personally perform. And that type of vaginoplasty, the vaginal canal is lined with skin. So that skin generally is from the penis that we turn inside out. And then we can make the canal longer to fit your depth. And I'm going to make a video about that later. To expand the canal using a composite of skin from the penis that we turn inside out and also skin from the scrotum and potentially elsewhere. So that is a skin-lined canal, and the name for that is a penile inversion or a modified penile inversion technique. The second type of vaginoplasty that you will hear about out there is a vaginal canal lined with a tissue called peritoneum. So peritoneum is tissue from the cavity that lines where your intestines are at. I think there's a couple of misnomers about it. Number one, that tissue is not self-lubricating. It is at most self-moisturizing. But one of the things that we're still learning about the peritoneal pull-through technique is the tissue becomes more closely resembling skin over time as it undergoes a process called squamous metaplasia. And whether or not that continues to be self-moisturizing over time, we're still learning. But that's a second type of vaginoplasties. The third type is when the vaginal canal is lined with intestinal material. And the most common way that we do that is with a canal lined of large intestine or a part of the intestine called sigmoid colon. In reality, you can use small intestine, but most commonly it's large intestine, specifically the sigmoid colon, which is just above the rectum. Like a peritoneal pull-through, it requires entry into the abdominal cavity as well as dissection down below. For the penile inversion technique, that's only entering the skin down below and not into the abdomen. This colon vaginoplasty has fallen out of favor over time for a variety of different reasons, and I'm happy to discuss that with you in more detail if you want to come in for consultation. But it still has a role in certain situations, and one of those big roles is when there's poor blood supply down below. The pro of it is self-lubricating from the standpoint that it does produce mucus, which is what colons were born to do, which is to provide mucus to the intestinal tract. Hope this was helpful. Thank you.